Jordan Neely made harassing subway riders somewhat of a hobby. Sometimes he became violent. Jordan Neely had been arrested more than 40 times. His rap sheet included 4 assaults, and 3 specifically were against women on the subway.
The kids loved him. You thought he was Michael Jackson.
Welcome back to the show. I'm Anna, and you're watching Anna Speaks Out. Thanks for being here. So here is a circumstance that really pisses me off, but is not surprising, and it is a standard example of the rampant anti-whiteism alive and well in the United States today. Daniel Penny to be charged with manslaughter Friday in Jordan Neely's chokehold death. This CBS New York article says Daniel Penny will be arrested in Jordan Neely's chokehold death Friday, the Manhattan DA's office said. Neely will face a charge of manslaughter in the 2nd degree. The 24-year-old Marine veteran is expected to surrender to the Manhattan District Attorney and is expected to be arraigned at Manhattan Criminal Court Friday. Just noticed after the fact that last name was incorrect in that article. It is Penny being charged, not Neely, obviously, since he's not even here to be charged. This is such an outrage. This man is a hero. And here's what coincided with this injustice and may have possibly helped to lead to it, unless you think it's just all part of one big show, which I kind of lean towards. But this is the injustice that is being celebrated in the world today, in the United States today.
Tonight, more fallout from the deadly chokehold on the subway here. Late this afternoon, the NYPD put out these photos of people they say they are looking for. Following a protest last night in Manhattan that shut down some train service for a while. Demonstrators have been calling for action after a Marine veteran put Jordan Neely in a chokehold, leading to his death.
Heroism or vigilantism? The video shows 3 strap hangers subduing the 30-year-old man after witness Juan Alberto Vasquez says he got on the northbound F train and began acting aggressively, threatening riders.
Definitely hero. There have been times when I have been on public transportation in San Diego County, and I would have been so thankful to have somebody like Daniel Penny on the train or bus or whatever. I think some people just have no idea what it can actually be like. And they're judging this without really understanding what happened from any sort of meaningful perspective.
Law enforcement sources with knowledge of the case confirm his account, saying according to a witness, the man began shouting, quote, "I want food. I'm not taking no for an answer. I'm ready to go back to jail, and I'll hurt anyone on this train."
So I understand that people being starving and thirsty and not knowing where they're going to get their next meal or something to drink, how that can make a person desperate. I have actually been in that situation myself. I've been in an abusive relationship in the past where I was starved. And it's really hard to think about anything other than being able to eat or drink some kind of liquid. However, I can't imagine myself ever having gotten aggressive with somebody demanding food or water. There are different types of people in this world. Some who will hurt other people in order to get what they need, and others who will simply ask for it or do what it takes to get it. You know, Jordan Neely was not in captivity like I was. He was free to roam the streets. He could have gone to homeless shelters. He could have probably gotten food assistance from the state. He could have tried to get a job. I've known multiple homeless people who have done that. But he ultimately put himself in the extreme situation that he ended up in. So where's the personal responsibility here? Where's the human decency and concern for anybody other than yourself? Not to mention the fact that he had something like 40 felonies on his record as well, including 2 different circumstances of assaulting elderly women. So this person was no angel, but the media just wants to paint the person who was subduing him, stopping him from hurting more people in addition to these elderly women, as the bad guy because he's white.
The man got on the subway car and began to say a somewhat aggressive speech, saying that he was hungry, he was thirsty, and he didn't care about anything. He didn't care about going to jail, that he didn't care that he gets a big life sentence, and it doesn't matter if he died.
Vasquez says he was scared and believes others on the train were too.
So you see that a young white man was there at the aid of an elderly Hispanic non-white man. These are very positive interracial interactions, wouldn't you say? But apparently that is not good enough for the anti-white mob and the anti-white media. All they want are excuses to make white men look bad.
Growing tensions in New York City over the death of a subway rider. Protesters swarming the subway station, disrupting service, demanding justice for Jordan Neely.
No justice!
So these protesters are telling you the two different things that they want there. They want no justice, no true objective justice, because they want the man who stood up to protect everybody on the train that day to be treated as a criminal and punished as a criminal. Really, in my estimation, just because anytime that a white person kills a black person, it is considered a crime regardless of the reasoning behind it or any of the actual circumstances.
This weekend, demonstrators filling subway stations, some jumping on the tracks and blocking incoming trains. Police say they arrested 13 people.
I'm glad that some people were arrested, but let's hope that they actually learned something from that and that the sentences actually match the crimes, because often they don't in these situations.
Protesters angered by what they view as inaction after former Marine Sergeant Daniel Penny put Neely, who was unhoused, in a chokehold aboard a train last week.
And see, why did that news reporter bother mentioning the fact that Jordan Neely was unhoused, as they put it? You know, what difference does that make? He was threatening everybody on the train, saying he didn't care what happened to him and he would hurt anybody. So why does anything else matter? It's because they want you to feel sorry for him, and they want to paint this white man who stood up for everybody on the train as much of a monster as they possibly can. Probably because he's white.
The 24-year-old releasing a statement through his attorneys, saying in part Neely was aggressively threatening him and other passengers. Adding, Daniel, with the help of others, acted to protect themselves until help arrived. Daniel never intended to harm Mr. Neely and could not have foreseen his untimely death.
Regarding the original article, people are saying in the comments, we have now become a society that no one will help those in trouble for fear of themselves being arrested. It's sad what this country has become. It's like they want us to destroy ourselves from within. This is so sad what is happening to our country. You can't even defend people anymore. And Angel Toro said, held that choke for far too long. He should have known better as a Marine. This isn't a battlefield. But somebody else said, have you been on the subway in New York? Which I haven't, but I've been on public transportation in San Diego, and I've been scared from time to time. They said it can be a battlefield. I believe that. Voltron, we all knew corrupt NYC would go after this hero veteran. And here's the key right here. MDC says the American Marxists are winning and decent citizens are losing. Thankfully, 304 other people besides me, agreed with that. So in closing, I'd just like to say that we need more men out there like Daniel Penny. And I hope that this unfortunate injustice does not have what is probably one of the desired results of basically scaring men away from being noble and chivalrous and standing up to protect the people around them and themselves. And when injustice like this does happen, I hope that the people in the jurisdiction will push back against it by protesting, making petitions, calling legislatures, complaining at town hall meetings, whatever can be done. These heroes deserve all of our efforts. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you again so much for being here today. Since you liked the video enough to make it all the way to the end, don't forget to click on the thumbs up and share with somebody else who would also find it interesting. Make sure that you're subscribed, because another person just got unsubscribed recently against his will, and you should check out his channel as well, by the way. Biblical Reality makes good stuff about the Bible. See you in the next one.